Welcome to the Profitable Home Services Podcast. I'm so glad that you chose to join us again today. Today, our guest is Joe Pallo, and he is a well-known author, speaker. He's become one of my favorite people just from the last time we did this interview. For those of you that are following along, this will be part 2 of our interview that we did just recently. Let's see here. Joe's the author of How to Sell Nothing, the Logical Way to Make an Emotional Sale. So last time we talked through his earning sales system. So be sure and listen to that episode if you haven't done so already. And this time, Joe is going to bring us some information about referrals. So Joe, welcome to the program. I'm so glad you could join us today.
Thanks, Ann. Glad to be here again. Had fun last time, and we'll probably do the same this time.
I sure hope so.
I think so. I think we're good.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about, number one, everybody is so busy out there getting new leads, new prospects, new customers. I'm tweaking my SEO. I've got my Google ads running. I'm throwing stuff on Facebook, on Instagram, on whatever platform they're doing. But you say, what about referrals?
I agree. I think referrals, we all know it, but it is the quickest, easiest way to grow your business. In reality, it costs nothing. And this is coming from just with my personal business. I've been coaching for 10 years. Up until a year ago, I did not have a website. I did not use Facebook. I did not have a book. I did not do podcasts. I did not do speaking. I just went out and got referrals. So all those other things are good. This is something that's in addition to. I think we kind of miss that as far as how important referrals are.
And I want to back that up and say, did you hear what he said? He did not have a website. He did not have Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, all those pages set up. He built his business on referrals. I want to say, wow, that I'm so impressed on that. Because I know I over the years, I've been hot and cold. I've been good at building referrals, and then it works so well, I forget to do it. And I will have to admit, I haven't done that in a long time now. I tend to get in my little bubble and stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that's not right. And in full disclosure, I signed up for Joe's coaching program, and he's going to transform this accountant into somebody who is comfortable at talking to people and doing the sales process and asking for referrals. So I'm looking forward to that journey as we've just barely started. But I do want to say major congratulations on building a business on referrals.
Thanks. It's kind of nice that you can say, I practice what I preach. And to you're saying we tend to go sometimes hot and cold with referrals, or it may even bleed over to, I get referrals, people are giving them to me, but I'm not really asking for them. There's
Right.
kind of a little bit of a gray area. First, if you have that happening, just a mindset, you're sitting on a gold mine. We just don't realize it yet. And one thing I strive to do, I strive never to teach, speak, train, or even sell until I get people mentally or emotionally engaged. And if I'm going to practice what I preach with that, let's apply that to referrals and look at our thinking with referrals. Because if we want to change our activity, it's got to start out with our thinking. And
it all starts right up here in our head.
Correct. And let's just look at the referrals as a little slice or sliver of our business. When we started selling, we sucked at everything. We were horrible. All of us were, and that's okay. But we got better over time and repetition, and maybe focusing on it and staying really intentional. We got pretty good at different parts of the sale. Maybe we're pretty good at establishing trust or creating a buying atmosphere or answering objections. On a scale of 1 to 10, we're up here at about 8 or 9 or a 10. But when it comes to referrals, I'd say 95% of the time, we're still rookies. We've never let this one piece of our business get up on par with everything else.
Yeah.
And that's what I do with my clients is I'll help them double or triple their income by this one piece because it's exponentially. They're better at all these other pieces. They just got to get better at this referral piece.
Because
So
very, very few people are talking about referrals. They're talking about all the other stuff.
yeah, yep. And let's look at it. When we were rookies, we had talking points or a script if we want to use that.
Mhm.
When it comes to referrals, we just wing it. And there's, it's just our thinking needs to do it. So first part is there's nothing passive about referrals. We have to have
Okay.
that intentional. Referrals are more important than the sale. And I get pushback from that sometimes. Saying, Joe, I don't know if I believe that. And here's two examples. There's earlier in my career, I was working with a company called Tom James, now selling custom clothing. And I sent a mailer to a guy at St. Paul Companies here in St. Paul, Minnesota. His name's Mike Conroy. Sent him a mailer, got him on the phone, got an appointment. And this is the first time I'm seeing him. I sold him a couple custom suits. He had not even delivered the suit. Just was based on our interaction. And I asked Mike for 3 referrals, or I asked for some referrals. He gave me 3. 2 years later, I had 150 clients at St. Paul Companies. I had my own ID. I had my own parking spot. I actually had my own temporary office. There is no way his business could have equated all that other business that came from that. I mean, I was there. I was the guy at that company. A similar thing happened at Lutheran Brotherhood. Now it's Thrive Financial. Went and saw a guy about to sell him suits. His name was Lyle Hemmingson. Well, Lyle said no to me. He didn't even buy a suit. But I still kept through my practice and, hey, just based on interaction, what I'm doing, and even how I approach it, who are 3 people I should talk to? Well, he gave me 4 referrals. 18 months later, I had 80 clients at Thrive Financial.
My
So
goodness.
we have to be intentional with this thought about referrals. That is the way to grow our business. And I think we're just passive. We don't think about it the right way.
I know I tend to, in my own business, I try to be a connector for other people, but don't really pay much attention on the referral side.
Yeah. And it's there. Another thing I think we do, and this is again, where we're dealing with our thinking, and I'll ask my clients this: if we're in a selling situation and across the table or across the Zoom is a person who's qualified, good, interested prospect, I'll ask my clients to describe your demeanor. How do you want to be perceived? And I'll hear things like focused, confident, honest, trustworthy, energetic. And I think if we all ask ourselves, how do we want to be perceived? We'll kind of have those same ideas, focused, confident, energetic, professional, trustworthy. I said, okay, now you have a good picture of that person. Yeah. I said, that's the person we'd be asking for referrals. See, what we do is we can go out and give that sales presentation, and we are focused, energetic, active, intentional, and confident. But when it comes to referrals, I kind of envision like that person, that Joe, who's very focused and confident and upbeat, walks out of the room. Someone else comes in, looks just like him, says, well, I'd kind of maybe like to have a referral if it's not too much trouble. Would you possibly think about potentially giving me never mind, here's some business cards. And we're passive.
I'm laughing because I think of how many times that I know I should ask for a referral. I chicken out and do something different.
Yeah. And it's there. They're ready for us. So that's I mean, 2 big thoughts. One, there is nothing passive about referrals. Referrals are more important than the sale. And 2, how we ask. Referrals are given to confident people. We have to ask in a confident way.
I remember one of my mentors from years ago had the phrase of, who else would be benefited by this information or this product or this service? Who else can you think of who would have a good benefit from this? He said, take it off of yourself and put it onto something else if you're not confident enough to just ask straight up for a referral. I haven't even been good at doing that over the years.
Can I touch on that and give you you and your audience just an idea? And we'll cover this as we go forward. It's what I actually even call is a simplified referral ask. Okay. Something your listeners can apply tomorrow. Let's just say, I'm actually going to do it live. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to literally, this is what I would say if I was asking for referrals for you. Is that all right?
Okay. You bet.
Okay. And I want you just because we've been only working together maybe about 2 months. And even part of that was your tax
Probably
season.
not even 2 months,
Yeah,
month
I
and
think,
a half,
okay.
maybe. Yeah.
Yep. But let's just say we're finished to say we have time. And I'd say, and these are literally some of the words. And I'm a script guy because we can deliver it more if we know what we're saying. I can literally listen to you at a different level. We can tailor it. I'm not saying you have to stick to it, but I'm a very fundamental script guy. If I was talking to you, I'd say, in my start out, I would say, hey, Diane, can I ask a question?
Sure, Joe.
That's the one if you can help me out.
Yes, I'd love to.
Yep. Every now and then I like to get a little bit of feedback on, we just started working together, but what are some things that you've either gotten out of or really appreciated about our work or interaction? What have we achieved or what have we done or what have you learned, if I could ask?
And I'm going to say, switch gears a little bit. Your whole onboarding process blew me away.
Okay.
Because you were so clear about the expectations and where we're going and what the path was going to be. I have been trying to kind of establish that in my own process now. How can I be more clear? So that blew me away.
Got it. So it gave you a little more structure when you're bringing clients on and help manage expectations.
Yes.
Awesome. What else? Just curious, what else have you liked about working with us? Again, I realize we just started, so
yeah, we just started. I'm racking my brain. We've had one meeting or two, I guess.
Yep. If you look back, and I know because you talked about this, we use that earning process. I think
that earnings process, right? Okay. And the fact that when you led me through the process to begin with, it was the same process you had in your book.
Okay.
And I was able to recognize it because I had just recently read that piece. So you practice what you preach.
Okay. So if you hear you right, you like the fact that gave you a structured onboarding process that really kind of ramped up how you bring in clients on and manage expectations, and you were able to implement it right away. And then you like the earning process, where it was way to bring people through the sales, but you also saw how I practice it and you got to see it on the receiving end. Is that it?
Yes, I was very impressed with the notes you took and that you were able to say back to me what I had said, and that you were listening, you're paying attention.
Yeah. Now I got a question. Who are 3 people at your level who would appreciate those things?
I could give you more than 3.
Okay.
I would say quite a few of my fellow accounting and coaching type friends. Yes.
Okay. Let's step away from that was a simplified referral ask.
Okay.
And all it is really talking with your clients, getting them to say, what are some things that they like about working with me? What are some things we've accomplished? And I think, and you know how I'm trying to keep things real simple. Those words go in a bucket called those things. What you said you like working with me is my own onboarding process and how you can implement it and you're doing it right away. Then you talk about the earning piece and I practice. All those words went in those buckets, this imaginary bucket of called those things.
Okay.
And I even said, what else? Because I got you telling me more. Mentally, you are bragging on me of things you like about me. That is the perfect time to ask for referrals. And once you get enough out there, once that bucket is filled of those things, that's my ask. Hey, Diane, just curious, who are 3 people, and I asked for a specific number, who would appreciate those things?
Okay.
And
so
that's,
that makes
again,
a nice spin off of what I had mentioned earlier, right?
Yeah, yeah. And it actually
didn't.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We didn't preface it with what are the things that you like with working with me, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's having that type of script. Get them talking about what they like about working with you, what you've achieved, what you've accomplished. You may have to help them out and give them an idea or two. That's fine. That's not a big deal, but we really want to get them thinking about what do they like about working with you when you do that actual ask.
I like that. That is something that everybody can take and use right now, a very actionable item.
Yep. If I could go back and do one more thought about our mindset about referrals, I think it's important. A lot of times when we ask for referrals, we're like, I'm not really sure if I can ask for it, if I'm okay, if I'm qualified, if I should ask for a referral right now.
Right.
Is there a relationship at a level? And I'll use it this way. And I used a lot of silly examples, but the ideas behind them are pretty solid. But let's just say hypothetically that I'm in your town and we're going out for a cup of coffee And I say, hey, Diane, I'm sorry, I left my billfold up in the my room. Would you be all right if buy me a cup of coffee? I'll pay you back. Would you do
Sure,
that?
you bet.
Okay, little bit of a risk asking that because we don't know each other that well, but but that's a low level of trust, correct?
Right, uh-huh.
Let's say we're having a coffee and I'm saying, hey, Diane, listen, I need 500 grand. Can you borrow? I'll pay you back.
Well, sure, Joe.
Di- Different level of trust. We
It is.
yes,
I'm
yes,
thinking, there goes my new house.
yes. So that kind of proves there are different levels of trust, and that's
Definitely.
okay. But if you're working with the client, let's just say you're handling all their finances, that's their family, they're all the saving them money, what they can invest in. That is a high level of trust. Would you agree?
Yes.
You're literally managing their business for their kids. It could be generational pieces. That's a high level of trust. You asking for a name of their neighbor or a family member or is way down the line, way lower. We just don't think of it that way.
We
We
don't.
mentally make referrals into a bigger deal than they are. We mental mushroom.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. And I kind of maybe I've trained myself where it's like, hey, do you like the color blue? Who do you know? It's not a big deal. And people pick up on it. If I'm making it a big deal, then they sense that.
Well, I think they,
No, I'm sorry.
I think they sense if you're a little nervous and hesitant about asking, their antenna goes up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And another way of looking at it, I'm got a different little example again about the different levels of trust and how it's holding us back. We already have it. If you're doing their business, they trust you.
Yes,
If
they
you're
do.
doing their books and helping them out in their accounting, they trust you. But it's like in the summertime, my kids are out back playing in the backyard with my neighbor, and I'm outside doing some work. And I said, hey, I'm going to Home Depot. All right, to watch my kids for 10 minutes. I trust my neighbor to watch my kids.
Mhm.
That's a high level of trust. But then a couple weeks later, we're going on vacation. I'm saying, I don't know if I want to ask them to bring in the garbage cans. It doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
Same with referrals. It's our thinking that's holding us back. And actually, I look at it, and I'm in the sales industry. If people are not asking me for referrals, I'm kind of questioning them. Well, why aren't they? It's expected. Again, I have a different prism or a different outlook,
Yeah, you do.
but that's just it's part of the sale, and we have to think differently about it.
That is a big mindset shift.
Yep.
And my head's just spinning as we're sitting here talking, going, okay, buckle up. Here's where Joe's going to take me.
Yep. There again, and I would even go through going back to we was talking about rookies. When you were rookies, you were bad at all the different parts, but you got
All of
better
it.
because you repeated it. I would challenge everyone to open up a Word document or get out a sheet of paper and write down what you're going to say with referrals. Get it so it's intentional. It's going to change, and you're not going to be good at it. That's fine. That's the only way you're going to get better. And it may have taken you years to get better at the different parts of the sale I was talking about earlier. This is going to go much quicker just because your learning curve's that much higher.
Right.
But really
Yes.
treat this like a sale, like you did when you're a rookie, and realize you're going to mess up. You're going to get some bad ass. You're going to get some no's. With referrals, I actually even teach 3 different ways on asking for referrals, 3 different asks. Because when we were rookies, again, we had to close a couple of times in order to write business. We were that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as we progressed, it's like, well, people just say, well, Joe, where do I sign up? I don't even have to close.
Right,
Well,
right.
that'll happen with referrals, but we got to get there. So
So,
go ahead.
so what happens when somebody says no? Or they
Uh,
don't come up with something quickly and you're just left hanging there waiting?
there is a line in our stand, a line in our head or a line in the sand mentally
Mhm.
that we have to cross before we're okay asking for referrals. I'm aware of that, and I'm assuming that we all are. So all of this goes with the assumption that we've already crossed that line where I'm comfortable asking for referrals. That's a big
Okay.
piece. There may be some people that I'm not comfortable asking for referrals. It's very few. Or this is kind of a gray area. They may not be the type of client that I like. I may not want referrals like them.
From them, right.
And
And
that's
I've
got to
run
be cautious
yeah.
because we've had, clients that refer us, maybe our C-level clients or even D-level clients refer us to A-level clients. A-level people. That can
Right.
happen,
Yeah.
but I'm aware of that. When we do ask and we get a no, we get an objection. Well, let's go back. What happened when we were in selling when we were rookies? We had to close again. It was awkward and weird when we did it years ago.
Yes.
And we probably haven't gotten any more comfortable with it or even better at it. We have to do the same thing here. So we want to
Okay.
have 3 different asks, talk about it, give them, answer it, answer the objection. And there's a whole, a module we'll do on answering objections, but come back and ask again for a second ask.
So it sounds like everybody listening to this podcast needs to sign up for Joe's referral program because I think we're all struggle in that area, or most of us. I won't say all, most of us do.
It's the quickest way. Again, I've had people double or triple their incomes just because they focus on this one piece.
Wow.
And you think about it, the cost is nothing. It's just your referrals. You're thinking about it. You don't need to invest in the marketing and the website. All those things are good. I'm not diminishing that. This is something that's in addition to.
Right.
And what you really can do is referrals are going to probably lead back. If I get referred to someone and I leave a message or whatever, they may look me up or Google me or go to my website. Well, we need all that stuff as
You
well.
do, right?
Yep.
Yes. Wow. What a mindset shift.
It's that once the lights go on, then we really start seeing things happen.
Mm-hmm. This is amazing because this is just not an area that I think most people are comfortable in.
I would agree. I would agree. Even if you think about it, most people, when they do get referrals, they say, well, I don't have time. And I don't know who decided this when years ago, when the process of sales was invented, they said, you have to ask for referrals at the end of the meeting. I don't know if I agree with that.
Okay.
I'll ask for referrals when I've understand that the relationship's there. When I've crossed that line, it can be right away at the beginning. And really referrals are given to people. They're
Right.
given to people. It is important what we have to do. Our service is important. But a lot of times I'll have clients say, Joe, I don't want to ask for referrals until I've really proven myself. Let's just say I'm a financial advisor. I want to wait and really show them what I do before I'm comfortable asking for referrals. My first thought is that's kind of a cop-out. It's easy to say, but you're just kind of creatively avoiding how to ask for referrals. Creative avoidance is something we try to do to procrastinate on something we don't want to do. So we all have a little bit of creative avoidance in it. But if you're a financial advisor and you're waiting to see, I want to really prove what I do. Well, let's look at that. Let's break that down. If I'm a financial advisor, they can go up 10 floors and down 10 blocks to find someone else who does what I do. I pretty much am a commodity. So we have to understand that. Also, I can't really control what the market does. We have no control over that. So when I hear people say, I really want to prove what I'm doing, well, you're proving what you're doing by saying you're a commodity and you have no control over it. That's just mental silliness. It's a way the referrals are given to you. You don't have to wait for that stuff. You already have the trust there. Does that make sense?
That does.
Yep.
Because I was thinking along those lines of, from my perspective, it's kind of nice to get to know these people a little bit, do a little something, get to a point where, yes, we've accomplished a particular goal, and then ask for a referral.
Mm-hmm. It's, I'm not saying anything that's not bad, but you probably could have asked for earlier. If they have a relationship with you, and again, with what you do, you're managing their business or overseeing that. You've got a high level of trust just with any of your clients because they trust you with that.
Right.
You're already there. That's my opinion.
That is a definite mindset shift.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I think oftentimes we feel like we have to earn the right to ask for the referral.
Actually, yes, I actually even say that. That is true.
Yeah.
We have to earn the right. It is a sale. And even look at it too. When we started selling, we don't want to come in that first meeting and say, hey, let's go back. You're selling insurance. You need this much turn, this much disability. You need to cut me a check. We don't sell like that when we're selling.
No.
But when it comes to referrals, if we do ask, it's pretty brutal. Hey, do you know 2 people? We just jump in and close. And we don't do that when we're selling, But yet when we're asking for referrals, we have to treat it like a sale. We have to ask a store, we ask a permission, we have to get them engaged, just like we do when we're selling.
Wow. So glad we'd said we would do a part 2.
And I'm open even to part 3 because there's more we can do on referrals, but I don't want to throw out too much. I mean, we'll get discombobulated.
Well, I'm sure the listeners would agree with me that we'll have Joe back for a part 3 at some point here, and
Sure.
we'll continue this conversation because this is good stuff. I think most home service businesses rely on their customer service reps to answer the phone. They're relying on everything they do from their salesperson to their online presence and everything to drive those calls. But I'm positive they're not stopping and thinking about how many referrals are they missing. And maybe,
I would agree. And if you have like a service business, you know, roofers or contractors, um, everybody knows their neighbors. It's such an easy spot to look at and have that conversation. There's so much opportunity in that industry alone, because they have a high contact. They see a lot of people, 3 or 4 people a day. You got 3 or 4 opportunities to ask for referrals. If you just got 1 referral a day, that's huge. You got 20 a month.
yes. And then especially if they were in the same general vicinity of where you're already working.
Yeah.
Now we don't have to spend any additional time on the road running back and forth to job sites if we can do a second job in that same general neighborhood.
Sure. I think it's
instead of
even
the
natural.
first
Like
one.
if my neighbor's having some trees taken down, oh shoot, I need to get my tree sick. I'll go over and walk with them. I mean, you have that should be a conversation. How do they handle that conversation? That is a referral ask, even though it's coming to you. You still have to
Okay,
approach it like a sale.
right. Wow.
Um,
You are going to blow my mind here.
I'm trying to think of another little piece. Um, when you do get a name, um, let's just say you referred me to a person named Bill Anderson. Okay.
Okay,
I asked you for referrals, you referred me to Bill. And there's another step that we'll talk about that I do, but let's say it's kind of winding down. But if I were to ask you, when you think of Bill Anderson, Diane, who else do you think of? That's one good question.
ooh,
And
okay,
you can get another referral. Because if I were to ask you, other than your spouse, who's your best friend? Think of whoever.
right,
When you think of that person, who else do you think of? Don't 3 or 4 people pop up?
okay.
The same way with referrals. You know, when you get that name, when you think of Bill Anderson, who else do you think of? And just be quiet and wait and be confident and let them go with other people.
The quiet and the confident part. I
Yep.
bet you those are very uncomfortable till you get used to it.
Yeah, I think in sales, silence can be really a tough thing. It doesn't bother me at all. Actually, I'd rather them sit and think a little bit and let it get a little bit awkward. I'm fine with that.
Uh-huh.
Um, if we're asking for referrals, another little tip I would throw out is on Monday morning, look at the calendar, look at all the appointments you have. And a lot of them could be new, first time. Some of them could be repeat business, or maybe it's coming back for, if it's a contractor coming back for that same job. Look at all the people you're talking to and say, all right, I've got 17 meetings this week or 17 events or jobs to work on. Of these, I'm going to ask for referrals 12 times. Set a weekly goal.
Okay,
Every Monday, look at who you're seeing, look at the people, and even visualize, yeah, this person, I love that. I love this person. I want to get 3 referrals from this person, because we need to have something to track, and we need this speedometer, how focused we are on it. So just look every week, how many people you're seeing, how many times you should ask for referrals, track your asks, how many
mhm.
times you're asking, and then track how many times you get. On
And
Friday, look at
so
how you did.
create yourself a little worksheet that you can use so you can stay on track with it.
Yep.
That's amazing. Wow. I'm so glad you came back for a part two. As we were talking ahead of time before we hit the record button, you said you had a special tip that you wanted to share with the listeners today.
Yeah. I think we can all agree that things are going at a pretty fast pace, just work-wise in business life, and our lives are busy. And a lot of times when we get a referral, a name and a number is not enough.
Okay.
People are busy.
Right.
We need something more. So it's actually, it'll be a download. I call what you want to get is a silver bullet. A silver
Okay.
bullet is something that I know that an average Joe on the street doesn't know. And I want to draft off of, you referred me to Bill Anderson. I want to draft off of your relationship with Bill onto my relationship with Bill. And the silver bullet does that. And again, a silver bullet definition is just something that I know that an average Joe on the street doesn't know. Okay.
So give us an example of something about Bill Anderson that you would want to know.
Well, these are the real silver bullets. It was Aaron, or no, Mark referred me to Aaron.
Okay.
And I just said, just curious, what type of decision maker is Aaron? I said, well,
Oh, okay.
I asked, is he a numbers guy? Is he a driver? Is he a talker? And I got the referee thinking about Aaron. You said, okay, he's kind of a driver. Okay, that's good for me to know. And then I'd ask, just curious, what do you respect most about him? What do you respect most about him? Or tell me more about him. And the silver bullets I got for Aaron is he's at his same level. He's in a different branch. He started with 3 people. Now he's got 30. He's making good money. He's a great guy. He's not a meathead. He can party with the best of them. Those are all personal little bits of information that I got.
Okay.
I called Aaron, and this is, again, I'm a script guy. This is exactly what I said. I said, Aaron, it's Joe Pallo. We haven't actually met. I don't want you racking your brain trying to figure out who I am. Mark mentioned your name, and I'm not sure if mentioning his name is going to help me or hurt me. Either way, he said you're not a meathead. 612-805-7576. And I hung up.
Ooh, you planted a curiosity seed.
15 minutes later, Mark called me back. I'm sorry, Aaron called me back. Aaron became a good client, good friend, and Aaron is a meathead. So I will say that. But that was a silver bullet. That caused him. Well, what else did he say? So that is a process. And if you want, you can go to silverbulletreferrals.com. And I walk through the process. It's a free gift, a download. Silverbulletreferrals.com walks you through that process of how to get silver bullets and how to get more value out of your referrals. To be honest, I won't call a referral unless I get a silver bullet. It's that valuable.
Wow.
I will sit on that referral. I will call back until I get something because it blows up your ratios. If I get a client with a silver bullet or a referral with a silver bullet, in my mind, they're going to be a client. It's that important.
That is a huge gold nugget.
Yep.
Okay, let's call that a boulder, not even a nugget. So, Joe, you know that this podcast is all about finding those hidden profit leaks. And I know that in this referral world, there has got to be a hidden profit leak. What can you share with us today?
Well, I'm going to combine a thought.
Okay.
Let's look at right now, your listeners have a bunch of referrals that get referred to over the last 6 months, or people or neighbors or whatever. They have a list of them, and they may have called and left a message and they didn't get anywhere. It's like, what do I do? It's valuable. I don't throw it away. But every time you see this name come up, I don't know what to do with them. Well, let's apply the silver bullets. Let's say 3 months ago, you referred me to Bill Anderson. Okay. And I called Bill and maybe even spoke to him. He said, call me back. And I left a message. It didn't go anywhere. Like, what do I do with that? Well, let's go get back and get a silver bullet with Bill. So again, you referred me to Bill 3 months ago. I'll call you back and say, hey, Diane, just talk about whatever. Hey, just curious. A couple months ago, you referred me to Bill Anderson. I haven't got a chance to catch up with him. Just curious, how long have you known him?
I have known him for 5 years.
Okay. And is he a numbers guy, or is he a driver, or is he a talker?
He's a numbers guy.
Number guys? Okay, good. Good. Hey, just maybe a goofy question. What do you respect most about Bill?
I respect that his yes is yes and his no is no.
Cool. What else?
I respect that he's a giver. He will give first before ever thinking of himself.
Got it. That's a little piece right there. You have all your listeners have a bunch of old referrals. Let's just go back and get a silver bullet with them. Freshen those up. You already have the name and the contact information. You did the hard work. Just go back to the person who referred it to you, start talking, ask a couple questions, and get some silver bullets. Now that name is something you can call again, and it changes your thinking. Not that I have to call; it's that I get to call.
You have a new
Big
reason to
difference.
call.
So
Wow.
that would be something that they could apply right now. They've already got the name. Just go back. Again, go to silverbulletreferrals.com, download the process, and go out and get some silver bullets.
That's amazing, Joe. I think I've said wow too many times in this episode, but you have literally just given us a whole basket of golden nuggets in this episode today.
Yep.
So many actionable items. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with these listeners and being such a giver yourself. I think that was something that impressed me when I first got my referral to you is that you didn't hesitate at all. Sure, I'll hop on your podcast. I'll give some information.
Sure.
Before you even knew me, you were willing to do that. And I thought that's a sign of somebody that you want to spend time with.
Yeah, I'm back at you, and I'll come back in if we have more stuff to talk about. So I'm very open to coming back. Let me know.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on this and delivering such intense value today.
Thanks. I appreciate it. I had fun.
Yeah, me too. I always have fun when we hop on these calls together.
True.
So anyhow, I want to thank all of our listeners for joining us today. And here again, let's stay profitable and we'll catch you on our next episode. Bye-bye.